The first episode of Moon Knight is here, and I want to point out a number of hidden Easter eggs and important symbolism you may have missed. I'm Father Roderick. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my future videos. Let's start with the title, The Goldfish Problem. Now, this not only refers to Gus, Stephen's goldfish, growing back a missing fin, but it symbolizes the entire story arc of the episode. The goldfish in the tank mirrors Stephen himself, trapped inside a small part of the world and of his job, working at a museum about ancient Egypt, hence the Egyptian ornaments on the bottom of the fish tank. On the phone, Stephen jokes how Gus probably would love to travel to the places on the postcards, but he can't get out. It's hard with only one fin. Just like Stephen, who is trapped in his reality as long as he is only half of who he is. When the goldfish grows back a fin, Stephen takes him out of the tank for the first time to show him to the store owner he bought the fish from, just like he finally gets out into the world once his other personality, Mark, the missing fin, emerges. The goldfish problem also refers to a growing concern caused by goldfish released or dumped by their owners into the wild. This is a real problem. They don't belong there and they wreak havoc on the native species, just as Stephen's other half released into the world will cause havoc and could be a threat. The reflections, the puddles. Several times during the first episode, we see the reality of Stephen reflected in puddles of water that are then disturbed by footsteps or something else. They symbolize the opposite reality that will soon cause a major disruption of the world that Stephen knows. Throughout the first episode, we see reflections of Stephen in glass and mirrors. They sometimes are fuzzy, sometimes they take on a life of their own. They, of course, symbolize the other side of Stephen, Mark, the mercenary. The most significant version of this symbolism is at the end of the episode, when Stephen is facing the jackal in the museum bathroom. There is a huge mirror there that looks like a door. Stephen is invited to let Mark take over, and the mirror is shattered as a symbol of him stepping into the world behind the mirror, very much like in Alice in Wonderland and also in the Matrix movies with that mirror symbolism. Sand and brushes. Stephen makes a circle of sand around his bed every night to be able to check if he got out sleepwalking. It obviously also refers to the sands of Egypt, and it forms a barrier, a frontier that he cannot cross. And therefore it's very symbolic that when he gets out of the door, there is a brushes and brooms salesman in front of his entrance door. Stephen needs to brush away the sand to escape his confined reality. The music. There is a great interplay between the lyrics of the songs that play and the images that we see. The lyrics sing about sand, about waking up before you go. Very subtle and very funny. Religious rituals. We are quickly made aware of the religious dimensions of the story. Arthur, Stephen's nemesis, performs a weird religious ritual during which he crushes glass and then fills his sandals with the glass splinters. Maybe symbolizing his ability to dominate the chaos, just like he presents himself to Stephen as the one who wants him to control this splintered mind of his. But it could also be a reference to the Egyptian god Osiris, who was killed by his brother, cut into pieces, and then put together by his wife and resurrected. The first time we see Arthur in the mountain village, he behaves like a Christ-like redeemer. People touch him just like people react to Jesus in the Gospels. He has also a judging ritual that alludes to Osiris, the god of afterlife, who is also a judge. He refers to the sun and to heaven, here presented as only possible through the purging of bad people. And this judgment is also referring to future things that people will do and justify that this could have prevented evil people like Hitler. Now, we obviously feel that this is wrong because it robs people from their freedom of choice. The Ennead and Stephen, God and humans. To stay awake, Stephen reads about the Ennead, while we hear the app on his phone encouraging him to imagine being part of that story that he reads. When you freeze frame, you read that the book explains how Egyptians first believed in the one God, hidden, whose characteristics were then represented by visible shapes, the other Egyptian gods. Similar to Stephen being originally one person, but now expressing himself in different shapes, different personalities, each representing different characteristics. The book also explains that there is a rift between God and man, and that not all the godly shapes are equally revered. Just like there is a rift inside Stephen himself. Not every personality has the same strength, at least not right now. Puzzles and confusion. At various times, the puzzle that Stephen, and we as the viewer, is trying to put together is symbolized in subtle ways. You've got the Rubik's Cube, a symbol of Stephen's mind. You've got the jigsaw puzzles that he carries in the gift shop. You see him scanning and sorting gifts in the inventory room of the museum. Stephen is pretending to search his contact lens in the elevator. It expresses his desire to see clearly. He wants to get to the ground floor to ground himself again, but the button doesn't seem to work. You see workers in the museum mopping the floor, also expressing a desire for clarity. We also see many security screens with the museum guard, representing the fragmented view of reality. Where does the danger come from? Who am I? And then we see the statue in the museum with only half a face, and Stephen stepping behind it. We now only see half of him, but he will be whole again. You've got all the symbolism around new life and resurrection. The new reality that Stephen and also we as viewers are stepping into is also referred to in a number of subtle symbolic moments. When Stephen comes home after his failed date, he opens a number of locks and doors. He discovers a secret location in his house, a symbol of the part of his mind that was hidden and locked away. He finds a phone and a key. This is the call to his new life, a key that can unlock it. When he wakes up on the bus, there is this pregnant woman in the background, symbolizing the new life that is about to emerge. And you've got the old lady representing his old life in the elevator. The elevator doors open, exit signs all over the building. It's his desire to get out of his current situation. When Stephen answers the call on his cell phone, you hear the sound of a bell sounding 7 times, reminiscent of the bells that announce midnight and the breaking of the spell in Cinderella. But why 7 times? Stephen explains earlier that there are 9 Egyptian gods, but there are only 7 in the poster. 2 are missing. And finally, Stephen explains to the young girl in the museum that the mummy in the sarcophagus needed his heart for his resurrection. And he tells her, I am not dead, am I? He's dead inside. And the symbol of the heart returns in the heart-shaped chocolate box, announcing his imminent resurrection and his return to life. Let me know if you noticed any other symbols that I didn't mention here, and tell me what you thought of this first episode in the comments. Like and subscribe for more.